Oh, oops. I think we still play this. Yes. Welcome to another episode of our live stream, My Journey to the Trinity. Hope you're having a good day. Now, if only had it. We have perfect words, perfect grammar, and perfect. Yes, but of course, Muhammad did not know how to read or write, and so he didn't know how to spell either. Um, so we're gonna I thought we'd look at a couple of words today that in the Quran are, one thing we could call it maybe is creative spelling. He spells things creatively. Now we're going to do this, you guys, and I know that whenever I've done this before or done something similar, the problem is that it's a lot of it is Arabic because in English they sanitize it. They fix all the misspellings and everything like that to where you can't see it. But in the Arabic, which is supposed to be perfect, it isn't perfect. So anyway, we're going to look at some of the words that are spelled creatively, creative spelling. And so before we do, just before we do, I had a friend who's a truth defender who sent me a hadith, and I just wanted to look at it because this is actually what got me thinking about this topic. And this is an interesting hadith. Um, this this hadith is about a woman who Muhammad was wanting to get to know intimately, and but she knew that she was too good for him. And this is actually a funny story. This is kind of a funny story. You know that Aisha and Hafsa, Muhammad's two wives, this was kind of like a soap opera, kind of like as the Medina turns, as the world turns. Um, but what happened is that, Aisha, many, many times you'll see in the hadith that she's very honest. She was a young kid, probably 12 years old, 13 years old when some of the stuff was going on. So she was very honest. She didn't have any kinds of filter. She didn't have a filter like, you shouldn't say this, you shouldn't say that, you shouldn't write this, So she just said whatever's on her mind and however she felt. And so she often was jealous. She knew her husband. She knew that he liked beautiful women, and so she was very jealous whenever a beautiful woman would come around. And uh, so there was a situation where there was this beautiful woman, and this woman was really not just beautiful. She was very very upper class, But Muhammad, as he often did, conquered her tribe, killed her family or whatever, and then he wanted her. And so, but what Aisha and Hafsa, they're the two troublemakers of Muhammad's wives. In fact, there's verses in the Quran about them being troublemakers and how Allah and the angels and Jibreel and all the good believers are fighting on Muhammad's side against these two little women, both of whom were probably preteens at this time. Um, but they were always jealous of Muhammad's exploits and women and stuff. How do you say I love you in Arabic? Also, God bless you. Shall we all finish the race righteously? I love you is أنا بحبك. أنا بحبك. God bless you. الرب يباركك. خلينا قلنا ننهي الإثبات بالتقوى. To end the race righteously. أنا بحبك. أنا أحبك. when speaking to a male, أنا أحبك. Yeah, in the Falahi, ba, you say بحبك. أحبك means I do love you. بحبك, I love you. Um, wow. أنا أعشقك أعشقك. I desire you. أسحقك. Yeah, kind of like I adore you, or أعشقك, desire you. Yes. Oh, I didn't know you spoke Arabic, Andrew Martin. Yeah, praise the Lord. Um, MS Copilot. Yeah. In Usually when you say I love you, you say أنا بحبك. بحبك. I love you. So Steve Martin. Martin and Steve Martin. Um, anyway, what happened is these two girls, these two wives of Muhammad, when Muhammad would want to, go after another woman, they would get jealous. And so, with the case of this one woman, this was a very upper class, beautiful woman. And Aisha and Hafsa said to her, when Muhammad comes, and wants to, come near you, they told him, say this, say, A'udhu billah minnak. Which means, I take refuge in Allah from you. And they knew that that was a trick that worked with Muhammad. He was scared when he heard that. And so that's what this hadith is from. And I want to look at the word that is used here. We went with the Prophet to a garden called a shout till we reached the two walls between which we sat down. The Prophet said, sit here, and went in the garden. And Jawniya, a lady from Beni Jawn, had been brought and lodged in a house in a date palm garden in the home of Umayma bint Nu'man bint Sarahil, and her wet nurse was with her. When Mohammed entered upon her, he said to her, give me yourself as a gift. Now, you see, they added that in marriage. Okay. I want to look what the Arabic says. دخل عليها النبي وقال هبي نفسك لي. You guys, the Arabic is so much filthier than the English. Hibbi nafsik li, which is give yourself to me. And you know why this is particularly filthy? Hibbi nafsik li. There's actually from a verse of Quran. This is actually in the Quran. There's actually a verse in the Quran. I think it's maybe it's not 30, maybe it's 35. Okay. Where is it? 33, 30. Zeb. Let me just look here at this surah here. Let me just go down here really quickly. I want to show you that this is in the Quran. You know what he's saying to her. He's saying, Hibbi nafsik li, which means give yourself to me. Okay, and Muhammad was given permission by Allah to do this, you guys. He's not just, this isn't just lust. This is divine uh, decree that he could do this. Um, okay. Let me see. Oops. Okay, here. 3350. It says, "Oh, prophet, we've made lawful for you your wives for whom you paid your full dowries." I mean, were they unlawful to him before? Allah made them lawful for him. He had already paid dowries. They were already his wives. I mean, were they not lawful before? But anyway, here he made them lawful, as well as those bond women in your possession, slaves. Okay, so Allah made them permissible for him to have sex with them, whom Allah has granted you. And you are allowed to marry the daughters of your paternal uncles and paternal aunts, and the daughters of your maternal uncles and maternal aunts who have emigrated with you. Also allowed for marriage is a believing woman who gives herself to the prophet without dowry if he is interested. And the word is not to marry her. The word right here is in Arabic, yustankihuha. Yustankihuha. It does not mean to marry her. It means to have sex with her. And the word in there, yustankih, nikah. The word nikah is in there. And so right here, you guys, you see he had divine permission from Allah to do this. So when he comes to this beautiful woman and he says, "Give yourself to me, hibbi nafsik li," um, Allah did give him permission to do that. Okay. And so give yourself, and it doesn't say marriage. It doesn't say marriage as a gift. Give me yourself. And it's just give me yourself. That's all. Okay. So, but then look at what she says. She said, "Can a princess give herself to an ordinary man?" Okay. Can a princess, speaking about herself, give herself to an ordinary man? Now, the word in Arabic, what's interesting is that the word in Arabic um, um, is قالت وهل تهب الملكة نفسها لسوك. What she says, does the queen Melika give herself to some street person, or some just regular loser, Suka. The word Suka, that was the word that I was interested in. She's calling Muhammad Suka, Suka. And the word Suka, it comes, if you know Arabic, the word souk, when you go to the souk, it means like to the market. And it means like the public place where just, you know, multitudes or general people are there, souk, And so she's just saying, Muhammad, you're just an average person off the street. How does a queen give herself to an average guy off the street? Suka is the word that she uses there. Okay. And so this was like, I can't believe that it's in here. I wonder who narrated this. Abu Usaid. Okay. So she's just giving it to him like, I'm a queen. You're just an average guy off the street. Why should I give myself to you? The prophet raised his hand to pat her so that she might become tranquil. Let's see what it says in Arabic. Okay. فأهوى بيده يضع يده عليها لا تسكن. Okay. قال فأهوى بيده. يَدَعْ يَدُّ عَلَيْهَا. I mean, he put his hand on her to quiet her. فَقَالَتْ. So he put his hand on her to quiet her. I bet he hit her. And then it says, and she said, I seek refuge with Allah from you. See, that's what Aisha and Hafsa told her to say. And she did it to keep him from having intimate relations with her. And look what happens. And he said, you have sought refuge with the one who gives refuge? Let's see what it says. How it says it in Arabic, in Arabic. فقال قد أعدت بماذا بمعاذ. Okay, بمعاذ. Okay, so you took refuge in the one who gives refuge. Okay. Then the prophet came out to us and said to Abu Usaid, give her 2 white linen dresses to wear and let her go back to her family. So it worked. What Hafsa and Aisha told him to do worked. And so he did back down. Well, you know what? He did put his hand on her, I don't know how hard, but it says he put his hand on her. So, but yeah. So anyway, but that's kind of what got me interested in looking up Arabic words, because the Arabic word is suka. Suka comes from the word soup, which means like general gathering, just folks off the street, and she's saying, I'm a queen, you're just some fellow off the street, why would a queen give herself to some loser like you? That's what she said to Muhammad. The word is suka, yes, British girls should learn that sentence. I seek refuge with Allah from you. Absolutely. But it worked, and Muhammad did not, he did not do anything to her. But it's funny that Hafsa and Aisha are the two who taught her to do this. So anyway, so that was why I looked up the word souk. And then I also looked up this other, okay, suka. Okay, this is what it says about suka. Suka رعية من الحاكم للمفرد للجمع المذكر المؤنث. Okay, this is the singular, plural, and feminine suka. Okay, it comes from the word souk, which is like a gathering, just a general gathering of people. So there was another word that I was going to look at. Let me see if I could find it. And this is also a word that you all know. I know you guys know this word, and it's a very popular word. It's in the Quran, and it's one of those that I know you guys know. Okay, this is the word sak. And the word sak, you know what? This is worth doing a competition. Yes, souk can be a market too. Who can tell me? Yes, the Swedes need, and I love the Swedes because I lived there 3 years. Who can tell me $5? You can give me the $5. No, I'm just kidding. Who can tell me where this word sak is found? It's a very famous verse of the Quran. Sak. Who can tell us where this is for $5? Because I know some of Abla's got a drive. It does mean souk means to drive too, like souk drive a car. Abla got it. Okay, a leg. Okay, but you know what? If you look at the word a leg, sak Allah, Allah's leg. Okay, it's a sock. بين الكعب والركبة. بين الكعب والركبة. that means it's between the heel and the knee. So it's the area between the heel and the knee, which is, who can say it? The shin. Yes, it's between the ka'b. Ka'b is the heel, rukba is the knee. So it's the shin of Allah. So in Arabic, the word for shin of Allah is sak, Allah. Okay, and it's in the Quran that on that day he's going to show people his shin. And so, but the word in Arabic is sak. Now they use the word sak also for leg, for the whole leg, but it really is the area between the knee and the heel. So it would be the shin. So anyway, so I thought that was the almighty shin. Yes. So, all right, you guys. So now I just want to look at some misspelled words in the Quran. There's some words in the Quran that are misspelled. Okay, they are spelled wrong. And so if you were to go to first grade to learn Arabic and you spelled these words the way the Quran does, they have corporal punishment in the Middle East, meaning you get hit with a stick, and so you will get hit with a stick if you spell words the way the Quran spells them, because the Quran misspells words. And we don't need to go too far into the Quran to find a misspelled word, because the very first word in the Quran is misspelled. The very first word in the Quran is misspelled. This is the word. Okay, that looks really bad. But the word is bism. Bism. Okay, bism. Okay, and in Arabic, you start from right to left. So it's not left to right, it's right to left. And you see the dot underneath there, that's the B. Okay, bis, and then the two like hills there, and then the circle and the line going down. And bism, this means in what it's supposed to mean is in the name. In the name. Bism, in the name. The word in Arabic for name is ism, which is very similar to the Hebrew. Who knows what the word for Hebrew for the name is? Hashem. Hashem, the name. Okay. But in Arabic, it's ism. Ism. But this is not how you write bism. And you guys, there's a problem with this. This is the very first word in the Quran, and it's misspelled. The very first word. If you were to go to kindergarten, if you go to first grade in the Middle East, like I did, and yes, I got hit. Yes, I got hit on my hand. One time the teacher got, he got upset with me and he called me up in front of all the students and he took his stick and he hit me on my hand. Okay. So yes, I experienced this suffering, and I was 9 years old then. But so having an American passport does not exempt you from corporal punishment in Islamic madrasas. So yes. So yes, the word bism. Okay, this is how they write it in the Quran. Bism. And they write into Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, in the name of Allah, the Merciful and Compassionate. And you guys, you can very easily conclude that this misspelled word is not just misspelled once. This misspelled word is misspelled 113 times in the Quran. This misspelled word is misspelled in the Quran 113 times. Who can guess why it is misspelled 113 times? Who can guess why this very first word of the Quran is misspelled in the Quran 113 times? It's kind of an easy question if you just think about it a little. I know you guys are very knowledgeable about, yes, 113. Why is it misspelled 113 times? In the name. In the name. Exactly. Okay, Marion got it. So because there's 114 surahs in the Quran, not verses, but surahs. You know, there's 114 surahs in the Quran, and each one of them starts with Bismillah, in the name of Allah, the Merciful and Compassionate, except for one. There's one surah that does not start with that. There's another $5 question. Which is the surah that does not start in the name of Allah, the Merciful and Compassionate? Who knows? You guys should know this. You guys listen to David Wood and all of them, Christian Prince. They talk about this. There's one surah that does not start with in the name of Allah, the Merciful and Compassionate. Who knows which one it is? $5. $5, but you got to give me the $5. Vigo Bond got it. Number 9. Number 9. There's a song by the Beatles called Number 9. It's Surat At-Tawbah, the surah of the sword. Surat of repentance, chapter 9 of the Quran, does not have in the name of Allah the Merciful. But all the other surahs, all 113, do have that bism. And so it's misspelled at least 113 times in the Quran. The only one that does not have it is chapter 9 of the Quran, which does not have in the name of Allah the Merciful and Compassionate. Okay, so yes, 113 times the Quran misspells this. And you guys, it's not that the Quran doesn't know. It's not that the writers of the Quran didn't know. They knew it was misspelled. They knew it was misspelled, but they still, okay, let me show you this right here. Let me just make this bigger here. If you look at this, in the name, Bism, okay, but there are many times in the Quran, including Quran 96:1, where it has it the correct way. The correct way is like this, Bi-ism. See this one right here? Let me see if I can make it big for you guys. See if I can make it big. I know if you don't, you know, I told you this sometimes can be a little bit boring because you don't know the Arabic. Some of you do. A lot of you guys do know the Arabic. Okay. Just to show you how it is supposed to be spelled. Okay. Okay. Okay, you can't even see it, you guys, because it's so bad. You know, it's so small. So, but you can see it's Bi-ism, Bi-ism, because the word Bi is like in. Bi is like in. Ism is name, in the name. So the correct way to write it is like this. And I know that's so bad, you can't even see it. Okay. And, but, that is the correct way to write this right here. And be ism, like here, see how Abla wrote it? Be ism. That's the way it should be written. But in the Quran, 113 times it misspells this. And this is the very first word in 113 surahs of the Quran. So 113 surahs of the Quran have a misspelled word in them. At least one misspelled word in them. Okay. Yes. Be ism. Be ism. Okay. So at least 113 surahs of the Quran have a misspelled word in them. At least one is the very first word. Houston, a first grader would get punished if they spell it to match the way the Quran. Yeah, that's right. They'll get it. They get their hands smashed. If they spell it the way the Quran spells it. So don't learn to spell from the Quran. Don't learn Arabic from Zakir Naik, and don't learn to spell from the Quran. Are you going to get in trouble? Okay, let's look. Okay, 113 times. Every single surah on the Quran has a misspelled word in it. Every single one. Except for, and I bet you if I was to pull up the one that doesn't have that word, chapter 9, we'll find another word in it that is misspelled, and so it'd be very easy because 9 is, has the word qatilu. قاتلوا الذين لا يؤمنون بالله واليوم الآخر. You know, fight those who do not believe in Allah and the last day. So that's chapter 9 is famous for its violent verses. Okay, so there's one. Okay, let's look at another word that is misspelled in the Quran. Okay, Abraham. Now I've done this before. I've showed you guys that the Quran, the name Abraham occurs 69 times in the Quran. In the Uthmani script, the alif is in the middle, is missing, so that the name is Ibrahim. Okay. In the second surah, the letter E is also missing, so that it is written Abraham. All surahs have except the second, have Ibrahim. But 15 occurrences of in Surah Al-Baqarah have Abram, with the E missing, suggesting perhaps that it was transcribed by a different scribe. Okay, so here it's talking about two ways that the name of Abraham is spelled in the Quran. But you guys, if you've followed my live streams, you know that I found it spelled 3 different ways in the Quran, because there is a surah called the Surah of Ibrahim, and there it is spelled another way. So it's spelled 3 different ways in the Quran, the name of Abraham. So don't learn to spell from the Quran. If you spell Abraham the way the Quran in Arabic, if you go to an Arabic school and you spell Ibrahim in your spelling test to get into college, and you spell Ibrahim the way the Quran, either way that the Quran spells it, because the Quran spells it the 2 most famous ways that the Quran spells it, you will fail. So don't learn to spell from the Quran. Okay. Don't learn to spell from the Quran. Okay. You're going to fail your class. Okay. So you want to memorize it, that's another situation, but don't learn to spell from the Quran. Okay. Because it misspells it. Okay. Another word that it comes up with, this word is so funny. And you guys, I just want to tell you, if you are in kindergarten If you are in first grade and you spell this, if you use this word, you're going to get a spanking. You're going to get a spanking. Okay. And, I almost want to show you, how I was hit that time when the teacher got mad at me, but he took a stick, like this. And he hit me like this. He goes, and it hurt because it was an olive uh, stick, an olive tree, and they're really, really twangy, and when he hits you on your hand, and whatever the kids would do, whenever the teacher would hit them, what everybody would do is, they would hold their hand like this, and then they put their hand out like this, and the teacher hits them, and then they go like this. They go. And so, and then you say, "Patubiostat," which means I'm sorry, teacher, And so that's the way the teacher lets you know, keep you in your place, So, um, by the way, not to be confused with the Brahmins, I think that the Brahmins, I'm suspicious that the Brahmins were really the Jews who were scattered and went to India, because it was about the time of the scattering of Assyria that the Hindu religion started being and coming up with that Brahmin system. And a lot of people think that Brahmin comes from Abraham. So, um, uh, I just want to see what Houston said. It's hard enough to memorize text without needing to memorize bad grammar. And then you got to sing it. You got to sing it the West. You guys, if you are to use these words, okay, where was it? Okay, this one is really funny. If you're to use this, man, you're going to get in trouble in school. Okay, it's son of my mother. And Aaron, the brother of Moses, is the one who said this. It says, son of my mother. If you want to say son of my mother, what you say, ya ibn immi. Ya ibn immi. Ibn means son. Immi, my mother. Son of my mother. Ibn, ya ibn immi. But look how it's written here in the Quran. And it's written exactly like this, you guys. Ya benum. Ya benum. Ya benum. That's how it's spelled. Ya benum. And it's supposed Ya bin Ya benum. And it's written in the Quran like that. Ya benum. You guys, if you're in kindergarten, if you're in anywhere, you write it like that, you're gonna get a big spanking. Ya benum. Okay. It's not even in speaking. You don't use this. Okay. Not even in speaking, they don't use it. See, Abla wrote it the correct way. Ya ibn immi, O son of my mother. But it's ya bunum, and it turns it into one word. Ya bunum, ya bunum. And it's it's so bad. You guys, you're going to get in really bad trouble if you learn how to spell from the Quran. Okay. Let's look at another word that is a misspell. I know if you guys don't know Arabic, this could be so boring, so forgive me for that. But let me see here. Uh, where's okay, 7? Okay, here's another one. Okay, the word tree. The word tree in Arabic. I'll give you guys an Arabic lesson. The word tree in Arabic is shajara. 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 That's how you say tree in Arabic. Shajara. Okay. And here it's written shajara. And that's the way it is in the Quran in 20, 120, 37, 62, 37. It's always shajara. But then in 44:43, it's written shajarata. 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 I mean, there's just no way that this could be pronounced. I wonder. You guys, I want to do something, and forgive me, because I'm curious. I'm curious if when they recite it, if they recite it incorrectly as well. 44, 43. Please forgive me for doing this, because I know I hate to listen to Quran too. But I'm curious now to see if when they recite it, if they, how far in the verse is it? Let me see, 44, 43. I'm curious. 44, 43. 44, 43. Oh, okay. It's only 3 words. So you guys bear with me. Okay. Okay. So you emphasize shajarat. Shajarat. Okay. But it is misspelled. It is, if you were to write the word shajara the way the Quran spells it, you're gonna get a spanking in school. That is absolutely the wrong way to write it. Yes, is the short T. Yes, shajara, because the noun for a verb, shajarat. So you would get a spanking if you were to use this word. You guys don't learn how to spell from the Quran. Okay? Don't learn Arabic from Zakir Naik, and don't learn how to spell from the Quran. I mean, if you want to learn Arabic, there's better books. Oh, this one's funny, man. This one is really funny. Okay? The word in the Quran for heavens is the word samawat. 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 And it's very similar to the Hebrew. In the Hebrew, it's the word shemayim. I know a Hebrew song says, Bano licha mitachet lashamayim, under the heavens. So, but in Arabic, it's very similar. It's samawat, samawat. And that word is written in the Quran 200 times. 200 times is written in the heavens, in the Quran, as samut, without the 2 A's. It's like without the 2 A's. 200 times in the Quran, the word samawat is written without the 2 A's. Samawat. What is written is samut. Samut. And but when they recite it, they're not going to recite it samut. They're going to recite it samawat. But it is spelled samawat, samut, samut. Okay, so that's a huge mistake. That's a huge, huge mistake. And of course, when they recite it, they're not going to recite it that way, but that's how it's spelled. And you guys, one more time, I'm warning you because I care. If you want to go learn Arabic in the Middle East and you decide to start in the first grade, if you were to spell some heavens this way, you're going to get spanked. Okay? Don't learn to spell from the Quran. Okay? All right. And there's so many, many more words than what I'm showing you. But these are just some of them, just to show you that this perfect Arabic book is so imperfect in so many ways. Here, yeah, Abla is saying samawat is correct. Okay, but the way the Quran says is samut. It does it everywhere. Okay. Um, so anyway, don't learn Arabic from the Quran. Don't learn how to spell from the Quran. Okay. And if you're a Muslim watching, I know you've been told this is the perfect book, that Allah Himself, the first thing Allah created was a pen so we could write these words. And this pen didn't know how to spell. Okay. All right. This is the last one I'm going to show you. There's a lot more, you guys. We'll do it again. It's just you can't really do something too long with this because you can lose people because it's in Arabic. But okay. The word is Samiti, which is, Samaritan. And you guys, let me just tell you, the Samaritans get a really raw deal in the Quran. The Samaritans get a real raw deal in the Quran. And the reason is because Muhammad not only doesn't know how to spell their names correctly, not only does he not spell their name correctly, but he also gets the millennium that they're in wrong, and he gets the century that they're in wrong. He gets the geography of where they are wrong. The Samaritans didn't exist until after the Assyrian exile. When the Assyrians exiled the Israelites, they sent Assyrians into Israel, the northern part, to populate the land because they didn't want to leave the land unpopulated. And those people became the Samaritans. Okay. But that was, like, shoot, how far? That was like 1,000 years after the Exodus. But Muhammad puts the Samaritans as the people who made the golden calf in the wilderness 1,000 years before there was any Samaritans. And so Muhammad, the Samaritans get a really raw deal in the Quran. They're in the wrong geography, the wrong century, the wrong millennium. And not to add insult to injury, Muhammad misspells their names. Okay, so let's look at how it's spelled in Arabic. Okay, now this would be the correct way. Okay, Samiri. Okay, because that is the correct way. Samiri. Okay, but how do they spell it? How else do they spell it? They spell it in the same surah. It's in the same surah, just a few verses down. In the verse 87 of Surah 20, it spells it correctly, Samiri. But a few verses later, in Surah verse 95, it's spelled Yasamri. Yes, Yasamri. Yasamri. Isamri. Samri. They just removed the A. Made from Samiri, it becomes Yasmari. Yasmari. Okay. So so there, in one surah, they spell it two different ways. Okay, so anyway, these are just some of the many, many, many spelling inconsistencies that you'll find in the Quran. Okay, it is not perfect. And okay, there's one more I want to show you. Okay, now this one is really funny. This was really funny. Okay, and I think I did this. I don't know why I don't have this one, but I showed it already. But and you wouldn't expect this mistake. You wouldn't expect this mistake. Because this is one of the most important words in all of Islam. This is one of the most important words in all of Islam, and it is misspelled in the Quran. Okay. Okay, let me show you this one. Okay, look at this word right here. Okay, it's messenger. You know, Muhammad is called the messenger of Allah, Rasul. If you ever watch those funny videos, yeah, Rasul Allah, Rasul Allah. Rasul, the word Rasul, it is one of the most important words in the Quran. It's used so many times in the Quran. And yet, in Surah 33:66, it is spelled Rasula, Rasula, okay? Obeyed the messenger, Rasula. I'm going to 33:66. It is, uh, it's essentially like saying messenger, messenger, or something like that. Like changing the word messenger to messenger, like changing the second E to an A. It's that bad of a mistake, spelling mistake. And it's such an important word. I mean, it's probably the second most important word in Islam after Allah is Rasul, and they misspelled it. And so let me 33:66. Let's just look at it. Quran 33:66. Okay, yeah, you can see it. It's boy, you guys. Oh my goodness, you guys. I just want to tell you, if you go to school and you're trying to learn Arabic in a madrasa and you spelled Rasul this way, Rasulah, Rasulah, if you were to spell it this way, you are going to get a spanking. Okay? You're going to get a spanking if you spell it like this. That is a huge mistake right there. That's a huge mistake. Okay. And this is the most famous word in the Quran, Rasul. Even in English, everybody knows how to say Rasul. I mean, it's such a famous word. And the Quran misspells it. Okay. Now it spells it correctly everywhere else, but here it adds an A to it. Now, how do you do that? And why don't they fix it? Okay. So, Abla is saying something here. Let's see what it says. It can be Rasula if it loses the L at the start. Rasulan. Rasulan. But it doesn't have the N. It doesn't have the N, does it? It has that zero on top. Well, you know what though? You know what? Abla, it can lose if it loses the L at the start, but it doesn't lose the L at the start. It has the L at the start. See? Let me show it to you. See? It has the L. El Rasula. So it has the L at the start. So Alif Marfu'. Okay. So anyway, there you go, you guys. The Quran. So anyway, I just want to, with this, I want to show you that there's a new category of errors in the Quran. Now, this particular category of errors in the Quran, you can only know if you know Arabic. Okay. And my Arabic isn't perfect, but I know enough to know that these things are wrong. Okay. But, the Quran has historical mistakes. The Quran has geographical mistake. The Quran has theological mistakes. The Quran has grammatical mistakes. And the Quran has spelling mistakes. So today the focus was the spelling mistakes of the Quran. So, so anyway, guys, in the English, they're going to fix it up. So in the English, it's perfect. You want a perfect Quran, read the sanitized English translation. Those have been perfected. Okay, but with the Arabic, there's lots of mistakes, lots and lots of mistakes. So anyway, so okay, well, so there you have it. And thank you guys for spending a few moments with us. And you know what? One song that I really like that I did not play yesterday, a couple of days ago, but is a beautiful Arabic song that we usually play at Easter. I just want to. We usually play this song. Just usually we play this at. Okay.
If you love binge watching and
Okay.
sites, you just install it once, and then like that, you can enjoy.
حمل أحزاننا غفر آثامنا بجلدته الشفاء وهو نبع السلام المسيح المسيح شوكة الموت كسر لما قام وانتصر فأنار الطريق وزاد قلب المسيح قام بالحقيقة قام المسيح قام لو كان صليبك أنهى قصة حبك لما كنت الآن حيا أهتف المسيح قام لو كان صليبك أنهى قصة حبك لما كنت الآن حيا أهتف المسيح قام المسيح قام بالحقيقة قام